You guys, Tana Mongeau is in some friend drama and she is venting about it in the latest canceled podcast episode. This comes after JSGate was just revealed to the public, the fight that went down between her and Brooke that almost split them up. And then after people saw that, they were like, they're not getting along in the recent canceled episode. And now Tana is venting about another friend that is stressing her out. And now Tana has come out and it sounds like the canceled podcast is kind of nearing the end and it has a lot of people talking. And we are going to get into all of the drama that is being discussed online right now. So it all kind of started with JSGate. If you paid attention to Tana and Brooke, then you probably know about their big JSGate fight that nearly broke them apart as a duo. But recently on their tour, they've revealed the footage of this famous JSGate fight. They showed the video to audiences during their Europe tour, and it was pretty bad. It's Tana arguing with Brooke about showing up late. Tana felt like she didn't need to be there until the meet and greet start time and no earlier, and didn't like being rushed. And Brooke was just completely fed up with her. Brooke was stressing that the team was saying that they were losing money being late to the venue. It was super tense and they were going back and forth saying a bunch of things to each other. And when they showed the footage, it ended with the crowd cheering for Brooke as they felt that Tana was being kind of ridiculous in all of this and was mad at Brooke wanting to be on time, and that just wasn't valid. People were also shocked just to see how they were talking to each other during the fight, and it was deaf in people's minds when watching a recent episode of the canceled podcast. Though in this episode, the tables turned a bit on Brooke as she talked about how during the tour, she was out exploring Europe with Paige and her friend BB, while Tana was basically missing in action. Tana defended herself by saying she was working and handling important matters, and fans felt like Brooke was guilt-tripping her for not sightseeing, and people in the comments definitely had opinions about who was in the right here, and they were taking Tana's side in this. So one week people are on Brooke's side, the next week people are on Tana's side, and the friend drama only seemed to continue. Fast forward to another clip that's been going around online from the podcast where Tana talks about how sad it is that the people at home can still affect her so deeply while she's away on tour.
And even over here, I've noticed, I was in Belfast, right? And I'm in Belfast and I'm getting calls from home about certain things that certain people that I'm friends with are doing, right? And I'm like, how the does this person have the ability to like ruin my day and stress me out?
From the opposite end
Belfast.
of the world.
Yeah. How the is what you're doing in California so awful that I am pissed in Belfast. And it's making me just, I don't know, just realize like, even my birthday this year, like I always do a big trip and like I do not want to because of the way that certain people, and it's so hard because I feel so hypocritical as well. Like I at one point was just like these people so drunk and so stupid and doing these stupid things. And now I'm like out of it.
It just sounded like she's been outgrowing some people since she's been sober and just doesn't get that drunk and act out and wants to just be around those who are on her same vibe or can at least have some self-control.
It's not hypocritical. It's like, oh, you grew out of it and now it's like frustrating to see everybody else not growing out of it.
That's like, what it is. I just like, it's hard because these are people that I love so much. And then it's like, I had a whole thing with it. We went to Tahoe for Makoa's birthday and there was a Cabo trip where it's on my dime and I'm asking everyone like, hey, and I can't stress this enough. I don't give a fuck when people have a drink or when people are drunk. Like I don't at all. Like the only way it's going to annoy me is if you take it there. Like you're speaking Rubik's Cube, you're doing something rude, you're being embarrassing, you're being a mess, you're like upsetting other people who aren't blacked out, like Makoa's friends or whatever it is. Like it really has to be like level 10.
Now, this sparked a whole new wave of speculation because people think she's referring to her longtime friend Amari. Around the same time this podcast episode dropped, a video of Amari started circulating online, and in the video, he's allegedly drunk at Pride and appears to try and take food from a vendor without paying. Security steps in and tells him to stop, and it just wasn't a good look. So naturally, people started to connect the dots and thought maybe this is what Tana was referring to. But some felt that the episode that they had recorded recorded was before this whole Pride situation went down. And then to add to the confusion, just this week, Tana and Amari posted a TikTok together. So clearly, like, they're on good terms, which makes people think that she wasn't actually talking about him after all, but someone else entirely possibly. But it just seems like there's so much friend drama going on in Tana's bubble. Like, she's reevaluating kind of the people that she's keeping around her and also the people that she's working with, like Brooke, because despite this tour seeming like it went smooth without any sort of JSGate incidents this time, Tana was recently a guest on Impaulsive and she dropped a major bomb. She made a comment that heavily hinted that canceled might be canceled.
Canceled is not happening anymore?
I mean, I'm not saying that like it would be done forever. You know what I mean? Like, I do really enjoy it, but it's just interesting. Like, the girls that we were when we started that show were like quite literally like behind a dumpster. But just the lore and just like my desire to comment on pop culture and be in the shrapnel every week, and you know what I mean, just show up every week contractually and tear people apart in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? I've just become such a different person.
So why not? So why not? Question on that note. So why not okay? Why not evolve the show? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, like for us, we've shed 47 layers of skin throughout the course of this 8-year extravaganza, but we evolved together and we evolved the show. So I'm not, we don't have to go super deep on it, but just curious as to why you guys don't just evolve the content.
I guess we could just evolve the content, but it still is like, there's only so much you can evolve, I think, our show. Like, I would still have to be in LA every week and we would still have to show up. And just also like creatively, I think that her and I both have sometimes different visions. Like, we always talk about the fact that as friends, amazing, but getting us to always agree on everything business-wise and stuff is difficult.
She continued on to say that they just really have different ideas when it comes to business, and this seemed to be the thing that was about to possibly end them as a duo.
I love her to death, but I could just see a world where we both had our own things that were very different. And then we had the agency and the leisure to cross over when we want, because we still have that great chemistry. And you know what I mean? Like, almost nurture our friendship first and just evolve in different ways that still allow us to continue to be friends. And just it's not a contractual obligation to show up on that couch every week and talk about Hailey Bieber's.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's a very important topic these days.
Yeah.
The fit of a business friendship relationship, or even just business partners, not even with the friendship, is akin to finding a romantic. It is very,
and I love her so
very
much,
hard to make those puzzle pieces fit perfect. That is why I'm so grateful for this.
A lot of people were commenting that they just feel like Tana and Brooke are not as close as they once were, and that this was Tana kind of saying that they're not as close, but just trying to keep it more of like, oh, we have creative differences and we're different than the girls that started this podcast. People commented and said, I don't think Brooke and her are close anymore. She doesn't like Brooke anymore, simple. It has nothing to do with the content. She's very obviously been quiet quitting Brooke for a while now. Tana ended up commenting and said, I love Brooke, don't twist that. Just eventually, there will be a new era. People grow and we need to. The girls ended up posting a podcast episode titled Why the Canceled Podcast is Ending, where they said that their contract is up at the end of the year, and it sounds like Tana is pretty much looking forward to this ending and for them to go their separate ways and create separate content.
I love you so much, but like, I'm getting in this place where I am like really awaiting the ending of this contract for my peace, like realizing that this is the final outlier in my peace era, which is so unfortunate because when we started it, well, we weren't peaceful when we started it, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, just, that's what it is. It's like starting this thing as chaotic ass individuals down for the smoke.
She does say that it might not be a permanent ending, that it could come back if people wanted to or they wanted to, but this is just kind of like where their heads are at right now.
It's like, yeah, I can't sit here and say that when this contract is up, toward the end of this year that canceled this for a fact ending forever. Because like, listen, like a year could go by or 2 years could go by. And if people really wanted it back or we missed doing it, like I would be so down to Backstreet Boys it up and like reunion. But I think that for both of our mental health,
it'll be interesting to see what happens next. A lot of people see her focusing more on not Loveline, her podcast with Trisha, but who knows what will end up happening. Will she end up going on tour with Trisha? I do feel like for friendship purposes that maybe isn't what should happen and that they should just keep the show how it is and not try to make things live, because Tana on tour can be quite messy with friends. But I want to know what you guys think about Tana coming out to say this about the canceled podcast and the potential of it ending and her and Brooke doing their separate things. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.